My friends, Easter is primarily a feast of life beyond the grave, but the vast majority of us are more interested in this present life than in the life to come. Now, if we think about it, we can't really treat this life as if it were just a waiting room for the next life. Most of our immediate concerns are centered right here, right now. So, how are we doing with it? What are we making of life? And where are we going in life? These are actually the real questions with which we need to deal with on a daily basis. Now, that's not to say that life beyond the grave has no vital interest for us. Far from it. There is one fact in this life that keeps many people interested in the life to come, and that fact is death. Death is one of those absolutes in life. And this is the place where Easter becomes a relevant part of this present world. If we look at the experience of those early disciples on that first Sunday morning, I think we'll discover that their concerns were very much like our concerns. One similarity was a love of people. The burden of their heartbreak at Calvary was their love for the person on that central cross. When the women came to the tomb, and Mary Magdalene in particular, that first Easter morning, they were grieving for the one who was buried there. And the most important thing in life for them was the tragic death of the one they loved so much. By the same token, the most important thing in our own lives are our personal relationships, those people that we know and love. Basic reality in life here and now is that you and I need those relationships. We need those people in our lives. And personality is really the miracle of the universe. The mind that ponders the distant stars is far more marvelous than the stars themselves. But these personalities are with us only for a while. Then they are gone. But what is this invisible spirit? This spirit of love which no eye has ever seen? My conviction is that this is the real person for which the body is only a temporary house. The Easter message tells that human personality is not destroyed by death. In the words of Longfellow, Easter assures us that life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its final goal. Consider with me just one other point, and that is this. The true glory of this life is really triumph over hardships. At our very best, we do not ask for a life of ease and comfort and complacency. We are at our best when we accept the challenge of a task and the opportunity to win a victory. Jesus had done that many times. He was hated, but he did not give in to hating. He was discouraged, but he never threw in the towel. He was disappointed, but he never turned to cynicism. He was tempted, but he never sinned. Victory after victory. At last, could it be that death finally defeated him? In the early part of the 20th century, Helen Keller went to the University of Glasgow in Scotland, where she was presented with an honorary doctorate. And there she stood, both blind and deaf, while the president of the university read the citation and her teacher spelled in her hand what was being said. Then she was led to the podium to give a brief speech, the closing words of which were these: "Darkness and silence need not bar the progress of the immortal spirit." A Scottish reporter telling the story wrote, "Then there was a thunderous applause, of which only she could not see or hear." My concern this Easter is not life beyond the grave, but what I want to know is whether that scene represents the real truth about life here and now. Victory over hardship, victory over handicap, victory over sin. Does the story end there? Doesn't it go on to say victory over death? The angel said, "He is not here, for he is risen." He was victorious in death as in life, and he invites us all to share in his victory.